So it seems like, how old are you now?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a good age actually. When I bought my first property, I was younger than you are, but I didn't start getting into what you're doing, like mentoring, personal development, until I was about 23, 24.
Right.
And I didn't know anything. So you've got a massive advantage over me because you've got YouTube and you've got all this other stuff. When I started, I was a soldier. I was in the army, and all the blokes were ripping me. They're like, "Oh, what's this book you're reading? Think and Grow Rich. Oh, look at this muppet." Oh, and they grab the book and they pass it around, and it was like really embarrassing. And then it put you back because, and this is a key point for you at your age. So you're heavily influenced right now by role models. So do you live with your parents?
Yeah.
Okay. They same parents together?
Yeah.
So you'll be heavily influenced by your parents. So whatever their sort of income is now, and their education level, for most people, and this is proven, like for most people, they won't pass their parents. Okay, so sometimes generationally, if the parent is, and it depends on the parent. So you have certain families. So if we say like Asian families, so I have a lot of Asian clients, their parents may be like second, third generation that have come here from India or wherever. And what you see is each generation is getting smarter and they're getting better jobs. Doctors, pharmacists, accountants. That is the exception to the rule. Most in the UK, it's not like that.
Right.
You sort of cap out at the level of your parents, and you fit that typical model of that, your typical white, like middle class, that sort of thing. So what you've got to be aware of is that, and then to make a conscious effort to step outside of that.
Sure.
Because if you don't, you won't you'll cap and you won't surpass. So like for me, I way surpassed my parents, but that was that's because I intentionally did it. And it's funny because I have people sit just like you every day, sit down and they tell the same story. And I always tell them the story of when I said I was going to join the army. And my parents were like, "Oh, no, you need to just get a stable job. You need to just do this, you need to do that," because that's what they've always done, stable job. And I said, no, I don't want that life. Like you said, I don't want university. So I said, I don't want that life. I want to do this, I want to do that. So I went off to the army. I did really well. I was the youngest sergeant in the army, which was like unheard of. And I looked like a little kid. I looked like a teenager as well. And what happened was, when I got to that point, my parents said, "Oh, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it." And then when I got selected to go and work with like a special forces unit, so I went there and I did some work with a special forces unit. And I was like, "Oh, this is my dream. I get all this like incredible training like you wouldn't believe." I loved it. I loved all that. I got to travel all around the world, did stuff in all these different countries. It was so cool. And then I told my parents I was going to go and do that sort of process, and they were like, "Ooh, risky." I don't know. I did it, and then they said, "Oh, I knew you could do it. Well done." Right? And then when I said, "I'm going to leave the military, I'm going to set my own business," what do you think they said?
"Oh, don't do that."
Yeah, don't do it, risky. Yeah. And then, so I did it. My first business failed, and they said, what did they say?
Told you so.
Told you so. Second business didn't really work out, and they said,
again, same thing.
Told you so, you shouldn't have left. Oh, you just need to get a good job now, or whatever. So then my third business, well, actually the third business was the rent to rent and all the property, when I sort of figured it all out. But before that, I jumped into a job doing sales, and before that was a little bit of marketing. And I said I was going to do this stuff, and they were like, "Oh, no, like oh, you're not going to earn a lot, commission, what if you don't sell anything?" Because I had no base salary. Mine was 100% commission. Yeah. And then I remember I made my first 15 grand in a week. In a week in commission. And I said to my parents, "Oh, look at this 15 grand." And they said, "What do you think?"
Well done.
No, they went, "No need to show off." Right? So my point is, that you're at that age where you're going to have a lot of influences around you,
Yeah.
and they're all going to have an opinion.
Hmm.
They're all going to have an opinion. But the thing is, and this is how, because there's so many variables to this, to summarize it and give you a really easy bit of advice to follow as a summary here is, even though there's all this advice and there's all these influencers around you, you want to basically do this. You want to say, who is the person that I want to be most like? So who is that person with that level of success? And don't just measure it in terms of money.
No.
Because there's lots of, in fact, I'm going to do this exercise with you. All right, so there's really 8 parts that we're going to look at. Don't just look at it in terms of money. Look at it in terms of all the things that you want for your life. And that's one of the starting points that we're going to look at. And then once you've found that person, get advice from them.
Yeah.
And that's it. And even parents and all these other people that want to give you advice, just thank you very much for your advice. I'll take it on board, and then you just dump it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You also want to click the link in the top of the description, which is going to take you to the propertycashflowacademy.com. You're also going to want to follow me on my social channels so you're kept up to date. And apart from that, I'll see you on the next video.